Welcome back to Not Your Mama's Cooking Show. Today I'm going to show you how to make spinach feta rugelach. It's a real simple recipe. You take a pie crust, spinach and feta, and you mix it with some ingredients. I got this recipe from Food Network, courtesy of Molly Ye. It looked fun, it looked simple. I had some feta cheese lying around, I had some spinach lying around. I was trying to figure out what I should do with it. So I found this and I'm like, okay, that's perfect because it uses everything that I need to get rid of. Are you ready? Let's get started. To start this recipe for the rugelach, we're going to need 1 1/4 tablespoons of flour, and then we're going to mix the flour with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Take a 1/2 cup of cold butter and we're going to chop that into little diced up pieces. Throw that in the bowl. Slowly mix it together, and then we're going to start adding water. The recipe asked for 1/4 cup of ice cold water, so what I did is I took a measuring cup, put some ice in there with some water. But then the recipe also said to put the water in 1 tablespoon at a time. It said you didn't necessarily need the whole 1/4 cup, just enough to make it a ball. So right now I'm at about 3 tablespoons of water. I could easily add like 2 more to get it to what I want it to be. It's becoming a cohesive dough ball at 7 tablespoons. All right, so now that the dough is formed, I'm just gonna take it and smash it into a ball. And then we're gonna wrap this in some plastic wrap, let it sit overnight in the fridge, and we'll be back tomorrow. To start, I'm gonna take 1/4 cup of onion. I'm gonna get this diced up. Take 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I'm gonna place it in my pan here. Now that my butter's melted, I'm gonna go ahead and throw my onions in there. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt to that. Now that the onions are softened up a little bit, I'm gonna add the garlic and about 1/2 tablespoon of black pepper. While that's going, I'm gonna go ahead and start chopping the spinach. The recipe asked for frozen spinach. I just bought some from the produce aisle. This is nice and fresh. Put it in the freezer to kind of harden it up a little bit. Now that the spinach is all chopped up, I'm gonna revisit our onion mix. I'm gonna add the 2 tablespoons of flour. You wanna let it cook for a little bit to kind of cook out the flour taste. It's almost gonna create a little bit of a roux. Now that the flour is cooked, I'm gonna go ahead and start adding in the spinach. Just kind of let that cook and reduce down. So I'm gonna add my feta cheese, followed by 3 tablespoons of heavy cream. Gonna mix that in a little bit, get that all nice and creamy. And then I'm gonna add lemon juice for some color. The last step, it says to add a few drops of your favorite hot sauce. My fridge is full of so many different kinds of hot sauces, but lately this Dieterich's ghost pepper sauce has been my favorite. I get this in a meat market called Hottinger's in Chino, California. It's a nice little ghost pepper sauce, one of my favorites. So I'm just gonna add that in there for a little bit of heat. And from there, I'm just gonna let it kind of cool down. Now that the spinach mixture is done, I'm going to take the pie crust that I made last night and roll it out nice and flat. Roll it out to about 1/4 of an inch thick. It's not quite the perfect round piece of crust that I want it to be, but it'll work. Take our spinach feta mixture, throw it on our pie crust. Spread it out as much as I can anyway. Get it to cover the whole thing. Cut it to 8 even pieces. Take the slices and roll them up. So I guess 6 out of 8 ain't bad. 2 of them look a little deformed, but the other ones look kind of like how they're supposed to. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my egg, and I'm just gonna coat the top of these guys. color on these already look amazing. The egg just adds so much more to it. And then I'm gonna top it off with a sprinkle of sea salt. I have an oven going. It's preheated at 425. I'm gonna throw this in there for about 30 minutes and then we'll see how it turns out. Wish me luck. Bam! The Rugelach, I don't know. It's done. Most of them came out looking okay. I screwed a few up. They look like, almost like stuffed croissants. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna taste one of the ones that didn't come out just right. Start by giving it a nice little cross section. That you can see the spinach and the onions and all that good stuff in there. Still kind of warm, you can see the steam rising. Very creamy. You taste the feta like immediately. The spinach is perfect, it's not overpowering. The crust is nice and flaky. It's just the right amount of cooked. The feta cheese though, that's what makes this. I'm more impressed with the crust than I am with anything else. You know, I already like the taste of spinach, and you never go wrong with cheese. The feta, you know, it's got that bite to it, but it's not overpowering. It's just like, it's perfect. And with the cream and the spinach. And that's Rugelach, everyone. I've never made it before, never had it before. Found this recipe on foodnetwork.com. And it's delicious, 100% will make again. If you haven't already, subscribe, like. If there's something you'd like to see me try and cook, put it in the comments down below. But for now, I'm gonna chow down. I'm Rugelach, and I'll catch you next time.